everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while I'm in the air, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, get it back when we done. Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while I'm in the air, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, get it back when we done. I'll give it back when we done. 10,000 hands in the air, have you ever seen? Work 9 to 5 or 5 to 9, do you ever dream? They in the red, but my stalk is green. Proud like I reached the clouds, all off a beam. Dreams on lucid, films on Lucas. Sound on surround, in the crowd on stupid. Who that chick Dion? That's Dion on clueless. You circle around the money, sitting in a Cupid top. Feel the dreams, they said I'm too corny. Funny, I got their ears all on me. Fears all gone and my fears all wrong. So keep your 2 cents in every phrase y'all coining. That's just common sense, all the hating, I honored it. I don't leak, I quantum it. I don't answer, I problem it. I just drop shit while they asking what a colonic is. Thinky, you know what I'm pondering? Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while I'm in the air, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, get it back when we done. Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while I'm in the air, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, get it back when we done. I'll get it back when we done.
What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Real Cowboys fans, stand up. Hopefully everyone's having a good Thursday. And as I promised, we are going to keep the fire content going all the way up until camp next week. And even when we get to the camp, y'all know we're going to turn things up to a whole nother level. So make sure you guys are sharing the content, liking the content, and turning on that notification bell so you do not miss out. So today we got a real special guest, man. And this guy really embodies what this is all about. I remember it's probably 2021. I was out in Tampa for the first time. It's when the Dallas Cowboys played versus the Tampa Bay Bucks and Tom Brady, when Dak Prescott returned back from injury. And I followed him online. We talked online, but he's like, hey, man, you're in my city. I got you, man. And he came and picked me up from his my hotel, took me out to his house. We recorded some content, man. And it's been a brotherhood and a friendship ever since. And you guys see me with him 1,000 times, especially if you ever see us at Dallas Cowboys games. He's pretty much family to me, credible content creator. And he's somebody when I'm kind of in my funk, you know what I'm saying? When I'm being moody, Jay Tuck, sometimes he will go live or he would drop his hype video and it will lift me up. And I'll be like, all right, Tuck, let's stop pouting. Let's get ready to gear up and prepare for Sunday. So we had to bring him on. CFO fans, give him a warm welcome to my guy, the hype man, Mike Tag. What's going on with you, bro?
What's up, Jay Tuck? You know, it's almost time, right, man? The training camp's getting there. We're feeling pretty good. And then, of course, you get a little bit of news with Parsons. That thing comes out, which kind of deflates us a little bit. But we're gonna get hype. We're gonna get this thing rolling, man. How you doing,
man? Exactly. It's never a dull moment when it comes to Dallas Cowboys. We're talking about this. Like, we kind of took some time away, but man, it's just always something. Today, I hopped online. I saw the Micah post, and I said, "Oh, here we go." I said, "Here we go." You know, and the craziest thing about all of it, it was Micah Parsons and the Undertaker. You know, like it wasn't like Micah Parsons and Stephen A. Smith. It was Micah Parsons and the Undertaker. But it was definitely a lot of nuggets in that conversation, man. But like I said, it's football season. Like I said, Mike is like my brother. Now you have to forgive him because he cheers for this football team in college. You know, he ain't got much sense. Oh, see, here we go.
Just in case. If the Cowboys, if we don't get this thing right, we can turn to the U. We can turn.
All right, man. I gotta fend that off, man. But you know, for me, I don't get much warm up this year because I got Alabama out the gate and I got Philadelphia out the gate. So there's no warm up football season for me, man. But for you, Mike, let's kind of start back. Okay, Brian Schottenheimer, new head coach. So overall, how was you feeling originally about the hire Brian Schottenheimer currently, and how did things currently stand? Yeah, it gotta be super petty.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when it happened and when the news was what it's going to be, is I wasn't digging it. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't.
Mhm.
I wanted, if you're going to clean house. And
Mhm.
I heard Michael Irvin. I love Michael Irvin, and he was talking about it. He said you can't have a guy who's been there and all of a sudden he's going to change. He's going to say, "Hey guys, you weren't doing this, but now you're going to do it." And they're going to be like, "Hey man, where was all this? Man, we helped get you this
Right.
job, and now you're gonna turn on us." And
Mhm.
I understood what Irvin said, but as time kind of went on, he's grown on me, and I love
Mhm.
what he said. He seems to be about business. He seems to be about changing the culture. He seems to be about all the right things. They cleaned house with their coaching staff, right? They got, I
Mhm.
think, 17, 18 new coaches there. So
Mhm.
I'm feeling a lot better about it now than I did when the announcement was made, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Originally when it kind of got announced, I was like, okay, here we go, right? Because I was wanting someone, if you're going to move on from Mike McCarthy, which a lot of people forget, they wanted to re-sign Mike McCarthy. Mike decided to walk, right?
Yeah.
Okay, be that as it may, let's bring in someone who is above Mike McCarthy, like who's has a little bit more, 10 years, a little bit more seasoned than Mike. So that's when I was kind of expecting. So originally, when they went with the hire of Brian Schottenheimer, I understood it from keeping the continuity of the offense, especially for Dak Prescott being older. But I'm with you, Mike. He's kind of sold me, just by his presence. I mean, I tell people, hell, I don't know, Shotty. He sold my wife. My wife was sitting here watching me do some film work one night, and she's like, "Well, who is that guy?" And I was like, "Oh, that's the new head coach." She's like, "Oh, I like him. He's a little bit more poised and more." I'm like, "All right, what I'm saying, that's enough, right?" So he has that charming capability, and I think he connects with the players
It does.
at a more in-depth level. Mike McCarthy was just purely a football guy, X and O guy. He might shake your hand, how's things going, but he don't care about your kids and your auntie and your mom and all that stuff. It's more about performance. I think Brian Schottenheimer is really taking that extra depth to really learning these players from a personal level. And it's sometimes, I mean, you worked in sales and we all worked in kind of just different jobs. The relationship can outweigh some of the intangibles, the EQ I call it versus the IQ, but he does have some IQ. He's a very tenured guy. So I'm with you, Mike. I like the younger spirit coaches and Junior Adams, Connor Riley, Matt Eberflus. So I'm interested to see how things are going to translate. So for you, what is the expectations though when you look at this roster? 'Cause I was having this conversation. I feel like some people probably viewing right now is thinking that we're in win now mode, but then I have a lot of Cowboys fans who's like, well, give them 4 or 5 years. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, you
Yeah.
see the grays in his beard, man. I ain't got 4 to 5 years for Brian Schottenheimer to put things together.
No, and this is the thing. Dallas Cowboy fans seem to get a lot of heat because all the haters and everyone say, well, oh, here we go again. It's our year. It's Super Bowl year. And I tell people, I mean, what are you supposed to say? What do you want me to say? All right, we're going to be 7-10. We'll be 6-10. Whatever, 6-11.
Mhm.
This team, you got a franchise quarterback. You've got the best defensive player, arguably, in the NFL. I mean, you should be in win now mode.
Mhm.
The expectation is to win and get in the
Mhm.
tournament and then let the chips fall where they may. A lot of things have to happen, but
Mhm.
I don't think there's such thing as rebuild anymore in the NFL. I mean,
Mhm.
how many teams do you see just go, look what Washington last year, they went from
Right.
4 wins to the NFC Championship. I just don't think
Right.
there's that rebuild. It's win now. I mean, shoot, it's
Mhm.
been 30 years. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have much longer, man. My kid
Yeah.
just turned 21. He don't know what success in the Cowboys is like. So I mean,
Yeah.
they gotta have that mindset, and that's
Mhm.
what I'm hoping that Shoddy brings. That's what I'm hoping
Mhm.
that Eberflus brings, and that's what I'm hoping that Dak and Parsons take the reins of this leadership and bring
Mhm.
that attitude. Because I think you've said it a million times. This team, you don't want to use the word soft, but it seems like when they go up against the bully, they get bullied. They beat
Mhm.
other teams, but when they get punched in the mouth, it seems like they retreat, and they got to
Mhm.
stop that. And hopefully, it'll happen this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be that golden opportunity that I've been talking about, y'all, is to see the Dallas Cowboys punch in their own weight class, right? Like it's fun punching on the Giants when they have Daniel Jones and punching on Washington when they really didn't have a quarterback, but now You got Detroit, you got Green Bay, who we've been struggling with. You got the Super Bowl champs in Philly. You got, the Vikings, who were solid last year. You got the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. So there's going to be a lot of marquee games that we can sit back and say, okay, are you mice or are you men? And so that is the cultural thing that I'm personally looking for. And the ping pong tables and all the paintball stuff, that's fun, fine and dandy, a new playlist at practice. But I want to see that dog mentality where everyone is rallying out there. And even if you lose a few, right? Did you fight? Was it a scrap or did you fold? And I feel like there was a lot of games last. I mean, Mike, we were out there. I mean, we all, but the Cowboys cave tailgate for that Ravens game, we had a blast leading up before we walked into that building. I just feel like there was a lot of folding out there, like a lot of slumped shoulders. And it's like, who is going to man up and take the charge? So that is something that I definitely want to see when it comes to Dallas Cowboys this year. Now, you mentioned our defensive leader in Micah Parsons, who we all can agree is phenomenal, right? I think he's worth the money. We saw what TJ Watt just got. He's probably going to leapfrog that. Why? Because the Dallas Cowboys always want to wait to the last minute. But as far as your expectations for this Micah deal getting done, because he went and spoke, it was something with the Undertaker. I think it was at Fanatics Fest that he had this interview. But he's kind of spoken about some of the things I echoed last night. Like, I don't understand why it always has to be a delay. He wanted to get the deal done early. He actually wanted to do it last year. There's guys who've only performed 2 years and they're already getting extensions. He doesn't. I'm like, Micah, I love you being vocal. I love you speaking out, but sometimes that's a no-no in Dallas, right? But when do you think this deal is going to get done, Mike? Or do you think this is going to have to get a little muddy like always? Because next week, if I'm his agent, I don't know. I don't want you running out there taking on double teams and chip blocks and wham blocks and all without no contract. So how do you think this deal ends up?
No, it's what Jerry and the organization has done the last, I don't know how many years with all these different players. They put them in a corner. And this is, like I said, man, this is sports is the only thing where the common folk like us, in general, they side with the billionaires over the millionaires. And they're going to side with the Cowboy organization. And Micah Parsons is going to get his hate and saying he wants to be a leader. He should be in there. Well, they should have signed him. I mean, you got a guy that bleeds silver and blue. I mean, bleeds it 24/7 on every show. Anywhere you see him, he's always talking Cowboys and wants to win and wants to do everything right. And yet you drag it out. He's going to get his money. I mean, they're right.
Exactly. They're going to pay you. So why are we dragging it out?
What are you waiting on? I mean, I just don't understand the mindset. And I know Jerry, he said back in the day, any publicity is good publicity, being in the news and headlines, covering the headline. And so I don't know if it's just marketing and strategic on his point, but it's like what I said. You talk about the culture. Well, a culture is developed at the very top. If they don't have the mindset that flows down to the head coaches and to the players, you're never going to get anywhere unless the players, us against them, us against ownership, us against everyone else. We're going to win this shit. Be damn them. But I feel bad for Micah because he's going to end up looking like the villain, and he shouldn't. They need to pay him. They will pay him, and hopefully it gets done because the last thing you need is more distraction in training camp like we did last year.
Exactly. And that is what I hate, because even hearing them like, hey man, sometimes people don't believe and you got to continue to work. I'm like, whoa, that shouldn't be you talking, like you have definitely earned your money. Hell, I would have paid you after your rookie season and went ahead and locked you up because I seen enough. But it's just like, I just don't understand. Now, this is where Mike really excels, right? I kind of think of you as the Cowboys historian, like, because I know a lot of my history, but not like off the top of my head. So just kind of walking through the history of the Dallas Cowboys, like, when did you kind of just think this whole philosophy changed? Like, how do we go from being ultra aggressive, prime time, the Cowboys that we grew up loving, that Mikey doesn't even know even existed, right? When did that change? Because they're doing this whole Netflix series of the gamblers. Like, man, we haven't rolled a dice in years. We haven't even picked up the dice in years. So when do you think that changed, and why do you think that happened?
I think it's Stephen Jones. I mean, if you go back to the Dion, he wasn't, he was against it. The story is he had his dad up, up against the wall. Don't do it. And I think that's kind of where it started. A lot of people go back to the Brandon Carr signing, which, all right, they signed. He wasn't terrible. I mean, he
Right.
started and he was okay. All right. He wasn't Deion Sanders, but I think that's where it all started with the Cowboys. And obviously you can go back to the Jimmy Johnson, era. And I talked about, I had Kevin Gogan on the show, and he didn't realize all the players they got in the Herschel Walker trade. And the one little one they forgot, and he laughed about it, is they traded Eugene Lockhart and turned that into Russell Maryland. So
yeah.
I mean, there was an aggressive mindset in the 90s, but that was driven by Jimmy Johnson. They got away from it. Bill Parcells kind of brought it back a little bit and what he was doing. And then anyone who has backbone as a head coach, and it's no disrespect to the other ones, but anyone that has that alpha dog personality like a Parcells and John, they don't last. They don't last in Dallas because that's not what the Jones want, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that was probably the tip of the iceberg from Mike McCarthy when he was starting to push back, and a lot of people missed it, but he was doing it publicly. Like, he was pushing back on that Kellen Moore thing. He was really pushing back on the Zeke thing, and he was pushing back on the Trey Lance thing, but it just wasn't being heard. So I'm sure it was kind of ugly behind the scenes, and the Cowboys in the front office, they don't like that. So that's what I'm saying, Micah. Hey, whoa, wait, okay, hold on. Like, let Tuck, let Mike, let everybody in the chat fight this battle for you, because they will take it out with their pettiness on you. And I don't want that to be the situation, because if this season is going to go like I want, like you want, like everyone else watching, we need 11 on the field, and we need him at 130% this year. So I don't want it to be a situation where Micah's holding out and we maybe a week before we kick off versus Philly, then he signed, he gets brought in, because he's a brand new defensive coordinator for the third time in 3 years. You need your defensive anchor out there. You really do, especially with these young rookies, with this young class out there, with Donovan Zikaraku, who's unsigned as well. You just need your leader. So why? Why?
Well, and it's not even that. You said it. Your leader. You guys anointed him and Dak, leaders of the team. They're right next to their locker rooms are next to each other. Like, change that up. And you're not going to sign them, and you're going to have them, potentially hold out. And what kind of message does that send to the rest of the team that you're trying to get everyone to buy in? It really doesn't make any sense. And like you've said it a million times, the price never goes down. It only goes up, and they're just going to keep paying more and more.
And you're going to pay it. It's not like, oh, you know what? They decide not to pay Micah, and he's going to go into this season on the field. Like, that's not going to happen. You're going to fold. So why not just fold earlier and get it over with and just take care of your players? I think, Mike, that's the frustrating thing for me. Is like, why not just take care of the players and just do right? Like, hey, man, you earned it. Let's go ahead and get the deal done. You've been talking about saving money for Micah for the past 2 years. When Zach Martin was holding out, you said, hey, we have to pay Mike in the future. You knew this was coming. You knew what the dollar price point was going to be. Just give him his money and stop being petty so he can get to practice and get his body conditioned to go through 17 games and lead us to a possible championship. But it looks like we're going to play those games. Now, when do you think the deal gets done? You think it gets done before we get to Oxnard next week? Will this be a Frisco thing? How do you think this all plays out?
I mean, I'm praying that it gets done before training camp. I don't want him holding out, and I don't want them to put the pressure on him that he has to be there, kind of thing. I'm not for the noise, but Cowboys being Cowboys. I mean, what's the track record? Zach Martin,
Zach Martin held out, Zeke.
Dak. What is where have they been with all these signings? They've all kind of drug out a little bit. So it's going to be interesting, but I think it's going to be one of those things that plays itself out. And he's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback. Right. I mean,
I just don't understand it. Why make him go through it when you're going to fold and give him anyway? But we'll see how the whole plays out. But like I said, just watching that interview, y'all, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It sounds like a little warning shot. Like, it didn't try to hit Jerry, but it whistled past him to let him know, hey, man, don't go there. Don't take it there, because I think Micah is not going to take the high road Dak approach. If they start lashing out and Jerry does a Micah who, it could possibly get ugly, which we definitely don't want. Now, there was another conversation today that happened with Trayvon Diggs, and Trayvon Diggs was fined with $500,000, so was able to drop his salary slightly because he decided to work out and train in Florida versus with the teams. So when it comes to Trayvon Diggs, who did the Cowboys a favor when it came to his contract, what do you think the expectations for Trayvon? Do you think he's going to be healthy week one? He's going to be a pup guy, bouncing off that knee? Because he's an important piece.
He is. And, I was talking about it. I was talking about it on my show. It's like, you better have, between Trayvon and Overshown, you better be getting something out of one of them. And I mean, Overshown isn't going to be till near the end of the year. And with the Cowboys secondary where it's at, if Trayvon isn't back and isn't playing at, the level that you would expect Trayvon to play at, I mean, the secondary could be in trouble unless there's a diamond in the rough that just kind of shows out there. But knee injuries, I mean, you played football, so you know better than anyone. And being a cornerback, it's going to be a long road. I mean, a lot of people have said inside the Cowboys organization, whenever you get out of them, be grateful, because I wouldn't have high expectations that you're going to get much out of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it was a missed incentive. It was something in his contract, right? I think it was an incentive. I don't think it was a fine, but I think it was something.
There was something about he didn't train. He didn't meet the percentage of off-season, whatever, off OTAs, so he missed that incentive.
It was it was already in his contract. But I think and it's funny because he was criticized about his conditioning last offseason, which kind of prompted him to put everything public on his YouTube channel and kind of his training. So, but sometimes people just like to train what someone's going to get their body right, get them mentally right, and it might be a guy that's outside the building. So I don't think that's any knock on Trayvon per se, because he's training. It might just not, I mean, a lot of people mark the Dallas Cowboys training facility like a D and an F every year when you get those little reports. So maybe they're trying to tell us something there. But I'm with you, man. I feel like Trayvon's going to be an important piece, especially with the corners, whether it's him, Siobhan Revel, who's the rookie we'll talk about here in a second, or Overshown. But we're going to need someone that's secondary to really step forward, because AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, like, we got some dogs, Malik Neighbors, like, it's going to get ugly fast if we can't find a guy to cover these guys. And we'll see what happens with Deron Bland. Are they going to move him on the inside or keep him on the outside? I like him on the inside, but he wants to get his money too, so we're probably on the outside. So the Dallas Cowboys definitely have some things to figure out. Now, another thing, Mike, this has been a huge topic of discussion this offseason, and I talked about it last night. The run game, right? We've been hearing it from Shoddy and, from Connor and Clayton, the run game. But me personally, I mean, a guy who's Dallas Cowboys fan / Miami the U, so all about dominant running backs, right? How are you feeling when it comes to your comfort level when it comes to this running back room as of right now? I feel like we got ham, no burger, peanut butter, but no jelly. When you look at our offensive line and the play callers, but the running back room kind of scares me a little bit.
No, and I mean, I watched your show last night, and I know you talked about it, and the running game, and maybe we just need to pass, just use Pickens and be a pass happy team. But I don't know if that's going to be the recipe for success. I think they're going to have to run the ball. Javonte Williams, I mean, you're ACC, I'm ACC. I saw what this guy did to McCain's 224 yards or whatever it was. He has the ability. Now, injuries has been his Achilles heel. I got friends, I got family that are Bronco fans. They say, when he's healthy, I mean, he did, he ran hard.
I mean, we were at that game where he ran us out the building, the dang Broncos game at noon. Yeah.
So it's that question of, does running back by committee, are you good with that? Are you good with having that running back by committee? I'm old school. I like to have a dog. Obviously, I think Blue he's a home run guy. He's going to be that Felix Jones. He could be Pollard, or every way you want to do. Don't ever say Tony Dorsett, whoever said that.
Yeah. Oh man.
Don't start there. But he could be that difference maker where you get him in the right spot. But you need somebody when we're winning that is going to be able to grind it out. And I don't know if he's here. I don't know if we have between Maffa, who we saw at Clemson, or Williams. You got Sanders there. I don't know if we have that guy. but we better have one of them. We better have a guy that in the fourth quarter we can grind it out and we can close out the game, because that's where you could find yourself in a lot of trouble if you can't run the football.
Exactly. And I feel like that, even though Rico got over 1,000 last year, I feel like that was our biggest problem. Because if you kind of go back to the earlier film or just watching earlier last year, it was like we were having open tryouts the first like 4 to 5 games at the running back. It'd be like, okay, here's Rico. Here's a little bit of Zeke. Here's a little bit of Deuce. Well, here's Hunter. You're like, all right, let's just find our guy and then maybe fill the void behind him. But I just feel like right now, I mean, I can make an argument for Miles Sanders. I can make an argument for possibly Jadon Blue, or some people can make an argument for Phil Moffa or Hunter. So I just don't, that doesn't give me comfort. We can make an argument for 4 to 5 people. That just means you just don't have a solution right now. So hopefully someone emerges. I know Deuce went on Kay Adams' show and kind of spoke about the new scheme, and they're not paying attention to the outside noise when it comes to the running back. Maybe that's me, Deuce, but I'm the outside noise because I'm gonna keep it a buck. I just don't.
I didn't even know if he's gonna be on the team, so I was.
I know what I'm saying. Like, you might need to pay attention to some of this noise we're talking right now, bro, because you might not be there. But it's just, I just think that it would give me peace of mind knowing that, okay, we do have this wide receiver dynamic with Pickens and CD, but we also have a guy who we need to get grimy and give him the ball 30 times and get out of there with a dirty, grimy win versus Philly. He can do that. I don't think Javonte is that guy, but maybe he can be. Now, like I said, we're ACC guys, so we've seen him at Carolina, and he does have that, because I love Damari Hampton. He kind of fits that mold, but it's just post-injury, but maybe this offensive line and this scheme can really help. Now, would you go get a guy, trade for a guy, or do you think that you'll probably just let it ride out how things currently are?
I mean, if you had the opportunity to get a guy like I look at Chubb, and I mean, he signed for peanuts,
right?
And would that have been a risk reward? And it just doesn't seem like the Cowboys want to take that risk reward. Same thing with, you can go back to Henry last year, right? And that was kind of the beginning of our downfall, because we all knew we needed a running game and a running back, and they didn't even do anything. If you had the opportunity, I would exhaust all options to whatever you can to ensure you the best possible scenario to get a running back. So if Brees became available, which I don't think he would, or if a guy could become available, I would entertain it for sure. Because you're like you said, you're hoping and you're thinking, but you're not. No one's 100% confident that we've got the running game and the running backs that can dominate.
Exactly. And I agree with you. It's just like, I would maybe go get a Brees Hall, because they're stacked in the Jets with the running back room, because they got Braylon Allen. But it's just like, even by passing on these running backs in the draft, like, we just don't have that guy. And I just think that it would make things a whole lot easier. And the thing that I hate, we have these conversations every year, Mike. It's like, okay, we need to go get a wide receiver. And then like, okay, it has to blow up first. And then it's like, okay, now we go get Amari Cooper. Like, we should have just went and got him earlier on. Even like the year prior, before we brought in Brandon Cooks with the T.Y. Hilton, we knew T.Y. Hilton and Noah Brown wasn't going to get it. They should have traded for Brandon Cooks that year. Because look how that team could have possibly performed out in San Francisco if they would have had a Brandon Cooks and a CeeDee Lamb. Like, they could have changed the course of things, but they waited. Okay, now we need a wide receiver. Now we get one. So it's just like, we're always reactive, never proactive. And I think that's one of the biggest problems when it comes to Dallas Cowboys. But I definitely think the running game will need somebody to stir that drink. And hopefully, if there's anyone I can probably hope for that could be the spark plug, it probably would be Blue, because he's the biggest home run hitter, but he has a lot of work to do from his time at Texas. But that would be nice if he can turn and give us that Bucky Irving rookie year type splash. Now stay on the same side of the offense. All right, Dak Prescott coming off an injury, another season, but this is the kind of the first year his contract kicks in. How do you think things are going to look for Dak Prescott in this new Schottenheimer era? Because I feel Dak's going to tie up the cape and it's going to be on the shoulders of Dak Prescott. Prove it. Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson emerging, Kevontae Turpin, you name it. But how do you think that Dak is going to fare in this new offense?
Well, I mean, I think this is the best set of weapons overall that he's had. I mean, when you look at Pickens, look at CD where he's at today. Not, not when he was paired up, with Cooper's. Look where he's at today. And then obviously you got Ferguson, but you got Turpin, who's a home run hitter. And then like you talked about, you got Blue, who's a home run hitter. So there's a lot of playmakers on this team. And I think Dak is going to have a Dak year. I mean, it's people will point to last season, just a year before that, the injury. I mean, he was second in the MVP and he put up huge numbers, and he's always, bar injury, he has a winning season every single year. And I expect the same thing from Dak, but I think that where the pressure is mounting for him is in the postseason. And if they have that early exit, if they don't get it done, at what point as an organization are you like, maybe we just need to just get someone else? Maybe it's just, just it ain't gonna happen. That's my only thing with Dak is in the postseason, and it ain't all on him. It ain't all on him. Let's be clear about it. It's a team problem, and we could break down every game and show you where it's at. But I think that's where everyone is going to judge Dak by January. I don't care about what you do during the year. I got to see what happens in January.
And that's the hardest part, is because we do have to go through the season, but everyone's looking, okay, so what is he going to do in the playoffs? And, there's someone in Dallas, that kind of remind me of Dak Prescott, and that was Dirk Nowitzki. Like, Dirk kind of had that same type of thing where it's like, he's not a championship. I mean, he's good. He's an MVP, but then he got knocked out by the AFC Warriors. Like, so he kind of just, but we all knew Dirk was good, but it was just 1 year Dirk just tied up the cape and just said, you know what? I got this. And he just rode all the way to the championship and just made his way through one of the toughest routes, I think, in NBA history to win a title. So I think that maybe 1 year the stars might align for Dak Prescott. But me personally, I hate that the Cowboys, Mike, put so much on his. It's already hard enough being the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, but we put a lot on Dak Prescott's shoulders, where we talking about last night is Dak or die. I feel like it's going to be Dak or die, once again, when it comes to his offense. And I would like to have an elite running back to take that pressure off, but I just don't think that we do. Because think about it. We drafted Ezekiel Elliott for Tony Romo to make life easier for Tony Romo, because we saw how Romo was with DeMarco Murray when he had a top runner. So that's why we got Zeke. You guys know I wanted another guy that draft, but they didn't go with the corner and Jalen Ramsey. They went with Ezekiel Elliott, because think about how scary that team would have been when you had to worry about old Romo, who knows everything, who's seen everything, but now you have this young dog in Ezekiel Elliott. I want that for Dak Prescott, right? I get it. We got the receiver, but we just don't have that other guy. But my expectations for Dak, y'all, is extremely high. I mean, if you go back to Shoddy's year that he was offensive coordinator for the Seahawks, I mean, think about it. Russell Wilson threw for over 4,000 yards, like 35 touchdowns or whatnot. And then you had Chris Carson rush for like 1,300. So if you can give me that, Shoddy, I'll be your biggest fan. If you can give me that offensively. So I think that as long as Dak Prescott can stay healthy, and that's the key. And we have to have this honest conversation, Cowboys Nation. He's getting older. And I remember back in that 2016 draft, I wasn't who I was right today. Mike knew who I was, but what I'm saying? People really didn't care. I was banging the desk for Dak Prescott. And people are like, why did you want Dak Prescott at Mississippi State? Because I was tired of Romo and his injury history. This one little nick, and it was a spine back and collarbone and all sorts of stuff to derail our season. So I feel like it's going to be extremely important for Dak to stay healthy, especially with Schottenheimer being his first year. You got to stay healthy, but I think that if he is healthy, he should be in the MVP conversation. So to everyone in the chat, who's got a bunch of people, over 700 people watching right now. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channels, like the content, follow my guy Mike Tag and Kelly. Kelly's out playing darts or something right now.
Darts, I see him in the chat.
Where's Kelly? Oh, there he is, right there.
There he is.
Yeah, there you go. So boom, man. So salute our dog Kelly. We want to get Kelly on. Kelly be outside. You know what I'm saying? He'd be outside vibing and stuff on a Thursday night. But salute to everyone. Go like the Cowboys Cave. Tailgate is Packers game?
Packer, we're go big or go home. We're doing the Packers. Yeah. So, those of you guys who don't know, we do a great tailgate party. Tuck is a big part of it. It's all Cowboys Nation. It's just about having a great time. It's in lot 10. It doesn't cost anything. You guys can come out. We got food. We got drinks. We do take donations to help because parking ain't cheap in lot 10. And
I know.
But we'll take donations, but it's a great time. And Kelly and I are actually flying in Friday. We made it an extra long weekend. It's going to be on. So everyone watching, man, everyone's invited, man. It's a big party.
I already got ahead of it because people don't understand, like the night games, when you tailgate for the night games, you're pretty much out there. I mean, shoot, you guys are probably going to be out there at 4 a.m. to get that spot. But like sometimes we'll be out there from like 8 a.m. to all the way to damn near midnight by the time that we get home. So it's exhausting, but it's fun. So definitely follow the Cowboys Cave, and then also for that tailgate versus the Green Bay. We're coming home with now. Me and Mike used to have this.
Make sure we get Cuts. Give shout out to Cuts because he's making a paddle, and he said he'll hook you up, man.
All right, bro. Yeah, Cuts. My dog Cuts. There you go, man. Get a paddle.
Is the paddle because we're gonna spank that ass. So he's making.
There we go, bro.
Put J Tuck, put anyone's name on it, and you guys can get that. And all the money goes to the tailgate. And you get a great cut by Jones. So definitely check that out.
Where's my cut? It's right here. Got one of my cuts right here. You know what I'm saying? My dog made me right here. You know what I'm saying? With the stars on it, man. So salute the Cuts, man. Yeah, bring me a paddle, man. Because I need to smack that ass when it comes to Green Bay, because I sat there to that playoff game. I sat to that playoff game and got trolled by people with blocks of cheese on their head, and then it snowed in Dallas. I was stuck 4 days later. Like, I want revenge that game. So I'm going to be out there, but we're going to have fun first before we grab that paddle and go out there and smack them Green Bay Packers. So definitely follow the cave, and also we'll see you. What is that, like September?
I think it's 28th or 26th.
28th, yeah, in September.
28th,
yeah, definitely. Tequila and Tuck and Cowboys K. Let's go. Cowboy Ritas, man. Cowboy Ritas, the drink of champions.
The drink of champions. And my son's going to be there. He just turned 21. So,
Mike get his first Cowboy Rita. Oh, man.
Tuck is going to initiate him. I don't know if he'll be able to make it into the stadium, hopefully.
Yeah. So here's the thing, people. When you go to those tailgates, you have to pace yourself. Don't be like Kelly, by 11 o'clock wanting some Whataburger. Like, no. You have to pace yourself, So I really don't start to ramp up to around like 3-ish or 4. I try to have some water. Me and my dog out there, Cuts and everybody, have some water, have some Gatorade, stay hydrated. And around the second game, that's when we'll take things up to a whole nother level. Because if you try to start early out the gate, you are not going to make it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to make it. Me and Mark will have the waters out there, So some Mark out there. All right. So getting back to football, the offensive line, right? So Tyler Guyton is coming in his second year, left tackle. Hopefully he'll take a leap forward. I think that naturally he will. With a better scheme, better offensive line coach. I wasn't a fan of Mike Solari. Tyler Smith, contract year, so he'll be the guy we'll talk about next year, not getting his money as he gears up for Oxnard. Cooper B being year 2. You have the rookie in Tyler, all the damn Tylers, Tyler Booker, and then you also have Terrence Steele. So as far as the offensive line is concerned, what is your expectations for the offensive line?
You tell me, because maybe I drink the Kool-Aid too much, but I thought the offensive line last year, as the year went on, and you had the injuries, and you had these young guys coming in with Hoffman and Bass, and you had all these, they started getting better and better as the season went on. So I was feeling pretty good with the offensive line going into the offseason. And then when they drafted Tyler Booker, I was one of the few need a playmaker. And I remember I think all of us do those draft day, live videos, and the look on all of our faces that were on the channel, it was disappointment. They get Pickens, it changes things. But when I heard Booker talk and I'm listening to him, it's shades of Eric Williams mentality, which that's what we're saying. You need those dogs. So I feel very good about the interior line. I think they're going to be mauling people. Guyton, do you think he's going to take that step? If you think he is, I'm going to believe you. And Steele just has to be okay. You don't need all pros on every position of the line.
Exactly.
You just need to have some solid guys and then some studs to help offset some of the other ones. So I feel good about the offensive line. I think it's a offensive line that can run the football, you know. So.
Yeah, I agree. The interior is solid. It gets me excited, right? Because it's just like, when you think about tough football, the dominant Dallas Cowboys and, the history is big physical offensive line, dominant running back. So it's like, trying to get back to that. But as far as Tyler Guyton, I think that he will take a step forward. My concern is, and what I do not know is how big would that step actually be. And I feel like from last year to this year, it needs to be a massive step. It can't just be a few baby steps. Like Mozzie from his rookie year, second year, he made steps, but it wasn't a massive step, right, for impact. Tyler Guyton, I've been saying this, is the most important piece to this Dallas Cowboys offense. If this does not work out, things get a little clunky, because then you have to talk about possibly Awesome Richards, or do you kick Tyler Smith out to left tackle? But that's a different price tag playing left tackle. So then things kind of get quirky, especially if you have your quarterback coming off tearing his hamstring off the bone. So you definitely want to be able to protect his left side. But I think that if you do really put an emphasis on the run game, going forward, getting in momentum, it'll help everybody. It'll help Terrence Steele definitely on the right side. The interior guys, they're going to be foaming at the mouth for it. It'll also help Tyler Guyton. But if you get into a situation where you're dropping back, throwing 45 times, y'all, it's just close our eyes and pray for the best. I don't think that's going to be our offensive line strength or our offensive strength, but we might have to be in that situation depending on the other side of the ball. But I think for me personally, the offensive line outside of the wide receivers is a bright spot that I'm extremely excited just to watch in camp, because it's going to be dirty, nasty, physical. I'm ready to see those battles like Sam Williams and Tyler Booker, and Mozzie and Tyler Booker, and Tyler Guyton and, Donovan, like all that stuff, because that's going to be some trench warfare that I'm definitely excited about. We got a super chat. Salute to Mark for the $5 super chat. We make no sense. 2 top 10 wide receivers pay Dak the most of any quarterback, but we want to be a run team with 2 running backs and a 5th round rookie. Pass to set up the run. Well, Mark, I'm not sure if you watched last night's show. That's what I'm not sure if you caught my show last night. But I was saying the same thing. And typically, here's why I was saying that, y'all. If you haven't caught last night's show, where I'm still thinking that the Cowboys will be primarily a pass team, is because whenever you watch the Cowboys, follow the money. Where's the money, right? So if the money is heavily in CeeDee Lamb, heavily in Dak Prescott, you spent premium trade value for George Pickens, that's probably where the money and production is going to reside. 1-year deal for Javonte Williams, 5th round pick for Jadon Blue. They can kind of get in where they're fit in, but I think that ultimately this season will go as far as the pass game. And your guy, Ken Dorsey, will take it. So we'll see. So we'll see. But yeah, I definitely agree. Now, it would be nice to have that balance. And, I wanted, Mike, where we don't have to be run every game, but it would be nice to, hey, man, Dak was, 16 for 20 for 185 yards and a touchdown, but the ground game got us the win. Like, I want some of those games. And I saw traces of it last year. And it's crazy to me, when Dak went down, then we saw that type of offense. We saw that type of play calling when it was Cooper Rush. But when Dak comes back, it's just, open things up and air it out, 45 attempts. And I think some of that's on Dak. I think some of that's on Mike McCarthy, but I'm not one of those people going to be like Schottenheimer had 0 to do with it. He had some impact, even though it may have been minimal, but hopefully.
Well, and even look at, like you bring up, and we talked about it as well on the show, is Jalen Hurts. And it's no disrespect. I know you get Eagle guys in here. They're going to be all.
Here they go. Oh, man.
But, I mean, it's a luxury. I mean, it's not, and look at his playoff run. 150 yards, 120 yards, Super Bowl, 220 yards. He had 6 games last season where he didn't throw for over 200 yards. Why? Because they had the best running back in the NFL, and they dominated on the ground. To ask your quarterback to throw 50 times a game every game, bad things are going to happen at some point. It's the law of averages. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I think they've got to have some sense of a running game to your point.
Yeah.
You just not put it on the quarterback's shoulder, and maybe they just got to be creative. They did Turpin in the backfield. I mean, there's a lot of things that they could figure out. But there he is, back from the
There
Keys.
he is.
My
Yeah.
young son.
There he is, little Mike. You gotta give Mike. Actually, Mikey, where you been, man? I haven't got no invites from you on college football 26. I hope you're not running from me, man. You know,
he's in there playing all the time.
he was avoiding me, man. It's smart. I would avoid me too, man. So it's a little Mikey tag, man. So yeah, so like I do think Jadon Blue does have some upside potential, but is he going to be lead back ready? But like you're saying, like yeah, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, like they got to just take games off. Jared Goff can take games off. We all know if Dak ain't throwing and he's not on, the team ain't on. And I just hate that situation for Dak, and I hate it for our team. I just think that's not a good place to be where your quarterback has to be Superman. And I think even if you look at across the league, what they did in Buffalo with Josh Allen, like you had James Cook had 17 rushing touchdowns. Our lead rusher had just one. Like, can we get some of that? Like, can we get some of that assistance? So we'll see. But hopefully somebody can really emerge, whether it's Javonte, Jadon, Phil Maffa, whoever, just get the damn job done. Now, I want to pivot over to the defensive side of the ball because I think that's where a lot of people have question marks. You know, you got Matt Eberflus coming back and returning to Dallas. We all know what he did in his previous tenure. But, you know, speaking like coaches don't get along, right? He only got 3 years in Chicago before they kind of got him out of there. First time they actually fired a guy in a long time in Chicago. So, you know, overall, when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, Mike, what is your expectation, how you're feeling about that side of the ball?
Well, this is on. I mean, obviously we have the pass, we got the edge rushers, so there's no problem there. But it's and this is what I would ask you because you know it better than I do with your film breakdown. Do you believe scheme can outperform the talent? Because Eberflus has proven with the Colts, he had a dominant defense with not much talent, not big names, and he always was in there with the run defense. And then they had, they were top 8. He goes to Chicago as the head coach. They had the worst run defense one year, took him to the best. And he's been known to be a linebacker whisperer, and he's developed some linebackers since he was one himself. But that's my question. That's the if. Can the scheme set up these players for success? And even though we're weak in a few positions and we got some question marks, can that scheme overcome it? So that would be my question for you.
Okay, so I'm more a Jimmy's and Joe's versus X and O's. And the reason why I explain this, right? I can have the perfect scheme and I can have it, okay, boom, there you are, Trayvon Diggs. You're going to steal the edge. And if Derrick Henry comes to this corner off this edge, you're in the spot to make the tackle. But Trayvon has to want that, right? You have to have that dogging. You have to not shy away from contact. Like you have to be able to have that mentality to go and make that tackle. So you can put players in the right position, but if they don't have that will, it's not going to work out, right? So you can have the perfect scheme drawn up X's and O's wise, but if my defensive tackles are getting blown off the line of scrimmage and pushed back 4 to 5 yards because they can't anchor in, that scheme's going to do us no good. So I'm more about Jimmy's and Joe's and X and O's. Sometimes players can make a bad scheme look good, but there has been a lot of cases where the scheme has made a lot of just regular players look well. And I go back to last year when we had all the injuries with the defensive line and D-Law was out and you name it, Overshown went down. Zimmer's scheme had Jaden Daniels in a frenzy with the double leg gap mug and dropping and showing and dropping all. So, you can sometimes do that, but when you're going against Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry or, James Cook or, those Christian McCaffrey, right, it comes down to will, desire, and talent. And I do think the Cowboys have talent. They're just missing just a few little pieces, and I'll probably do some video tomorrow, but I think that you should give one of your old defensive tackles a call, whether that's Linval Joseph or make a trade for a DJ Reed. Like, you just got to get more. Like, I feel like we're right there. We have enough to be competitive, but why not go be contenders, Yeah. And I was having this conversation, Mike, because you mentioned, about Brian Schottenheimer. I compare Brian Schottenheimer to like a Nick Sirianni, right? I didn't think Nick Sirianni was going to be the most dominant X and O's guy. He was more of an energy guy, players coach. Like he wasn't the Kellen Moore type hire. I think he was kind of ranked low in some of these census rankings as well. Nobody really gave him a chance. But the one thing the Eagles did was they loaded him up with so much talent to the point where, okay, if you fail with this, it really is you. So if Nick Sirianni cannot get the job done, then he is not the man for the job. I want the Dallas Cowboys to do that for Brian Schottenheimer, where it's almost foolproof, right? Where you have so much talent. It's like, all right, bro, like if you can't make this work, then obviously this might not be the job for you. So I feel like they're kind of going in about it in the Cowboys' way, but they're still just haven't went that extra layer. When you said like a Nick Chubb was a simple addition, y'all. He played for Brian Schottenheimer at the University of Georgia. That was a simple phone call for cheap. Hey, man, it's Schotty, your old coach. I'm head coach of Dallas Cowboys now. I would love to have you back in Dallas. And if he doesn't work out, you cut him and you pay pennies. But it's just those little things. So, but yeah, I'm more of a Jimmy's and Joe's versus X's and O's. I would think that talent would kind of outweigh scheme in some cases. But you also have to play discipline. Yeah. Okay. Damn it. All right. Okay. All right. So you say we're in trouble. So I assume that you're saying you don't think that we have the guys yet.
I think that up the gut, right? I mean, that's where our problem has been. And have they done enough to fix that? You're gonna, Kelly talked about it, and I love, the big guy they got, Toya. Is that? If I hopefully I said it right. He's a big guy, and you need those big beefy guys in there, but they didn't add much. They didn't add much there. I mean, maybe one of the guys, the free agent guys that they got, the first round guy from the Jets, what was his was it Solomon Thomas?
Solomon Thomas, yes.
Yeah. Maybe he, I mean, it's ifs and buts, will that work? And they, to your point, like Calais Campbell, I mean, the ageless wonder has been a run-stuffing defensive tackle forever, and he was out there, no phone call, I'm sure. So I just, up the gut really has me worried. I think our pass rush can help make our secondary look better, right? We've got waves of guys that we could bring in. The linebackers without Overshown, I mean, Sanborn and Murray, you pick those guys up, and you got to think that Eberflus is kind of going to his scheme, and those guys fit his scheme and the type of linebackers he wants. So the question to me is run defense. Are they going to be able to stop the run?
Right.
And that's what Eberflus' strength is. As a defensive coordinator, his run defense has always been in the top 10.
Yeah, exactly. So the one thing I do like about Eberflus is, one, these guys are going to play with the motor, right? They're going to play with the motor. They're going to be firing off the ball, kind of that Rod Marinelli style, right? Rod Marinelli that was his style, right? Everyone runs to the ball, so you're going to see them flow and chase, what I'm excited about. But it's just like in the interior, the trenches, the push, like, are you going to be anchored in? I feel like Mozzie, he's making leaps in the right direction, right? But third coordinator in 3 years, sometimes it's just a bad recipe for disaster. But you also need more wood in the fire. 17 games, and so you're gonna have two guys. Mozzie's still kind of a work in progress, and a rookie who's unproven. Like, you need more than that. So I just feel like they'll probably sit back, to be honest with you, see who were cut during camp, release in the preseason, and bring in guys like they did Jordan Phillips and also Linval Joseph, But like you said, Calais Campbell's out there. I saw the Dominican Stewart telling, hold on, bro. Hold on. Let me call you real quick, man. Like, hold on, before you make that official announcement, right? Go get a mercenary that's just go out there and stop the run, because the interior is the most important piece. I know when you look at some of the graphics on next gen stats, it was the perimeter, but it's always defense is a chain. For someone to play linebacker, I can't scrape and flow if my defensive tackle is being pushed in the back of my lap, right? I need clear lanes so I can shoot my proper graps and meet the running back in the backfield. So that's really going to be important. But I feel like the strong suit is the edges, Mike. And I feel like the edges is going to be fun to watch. So whenever we do get in those pass rush situations, that's where we're going to get to have some excitement. But as far as the rotation, Micah Parsons a given, Fowler's a given because we paid him big money. But outside of that, how do you think that rotation shapes out when you have Sam Williams, Marshawn Nealon, and also Donovan and Zikaraku, who I think is going to be phenomenal once we get him signed?
Yeah, why? I was on. Why isn't he signed yet? I don't understand how.
It's this new so I figured out because I asked too because I was on vacation when all this happened. So I think the Houston Texans signed their second round pick to like 100% guaranteed. So all the second round picks now want 100% guaranteed money, and teams was like, no. So I think that's kind of the situation. There's this massive, like I think now it's like 29 second round picks are now holding out because they want all guaranteed money.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah. I think he can be a superstar. Sam Williams is always right. He's every year he's our breakout guy, and then it just injury or something happens and it's just not there. Nealon was showing some promise, and then obviously he had the injuries. My question too is because I think to your point, that's going to be the strength. Mm-hmm. What could you do with Eazy-E? I call him Eazy-E because I don't want to butcher his name. And Parsons, could you see, and I know the Dallas, I don't know if they have the personnel to do it, but getting into some hybrid 3-4s and using them as stand-up guys and moving them around. I mean, could you see the Cowboys and Eberflus getting into any of that? Because that's it would
be magical. All we would need is that big nasty zero tech that we're missing because this team madness is 3-4s. Because I talked to my guy Will Blackman, who used to coach with the Cowboys. He also coached at Boston College, so he coached Donovan. He was like, Tuck, I'm telling you, I don't want to say he's bootleg, but he's very Micah-esque, right? He's very like a different version of it. And I know, like, he tore my Florida State Seminoles apart. I was like, damn, who is this kid, right? So you have the ability where you could have Fowler, maybe, or even Sam Williams and Nealon be your edge guys, and then have either Donovan or Micah or Dante kind of being your perimeter guys, flowing kind of this 3-4 scheme. I think it's scary because I just think if we're going to go into traditional 4-3, having Sam, having Donovan on the sidelines, and I just think that it is too much value. And me personally, when it comes to our linebackers, I think that will help kind of mask some of the voids and my concerns with it, where technically your outside linebackers are Micah or Donovan, the kind of edge rushers, perimeters guys. So I would 1000% consider it. Would Eberflus do that? No, I mean, because we were a 3-4 under, was it Rex? I get them mixed up. Rob Ryan was the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Then we went to Rod, and we went to the 4-3 with D Ware and everybody. So I mean, he has some 3-4 background, so maybe he could sprinkle that in. But I think that more than likely will probably be traditional 4-3. But man, I mean, when you look at the way the roster is built, it would probably work in our best benefit to keep those guys all on the field at the same time. You could.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, play to your strength. I mean, your strength is those guys. I mean, try and get as many of them on the field as you can. So there's just kind of my thoughts to try and help them out. But yeah, it's the defense. It's going to come down to that front. I mean, it's going to come down to that front, and if they can hold their own and they can get Rush on there and wreck some havoc, that's what we need to see. Get the season started off right against the Eagles, man.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta, when I say eat your dinner for eat your dessert, though, you gotta stop that run first. Yes. And Eberflus has been saying it, and hopefully, here's my hope, guys, for the run defense, is that we've been ran on for so long. Hopefully the Dallas Cowboys finally man up and say, you know what, enough. Because like I said, we had the tailgate at that rate. It was damn near embarrassing. They say, you know what, we're not even going to throw on y'all. We're just going to run. We're just going to run the ball on you, and there's nothing you guys can do to stop it. So I just think that something is going to click inside of them. It's like, all right, let's focus on stopping the run, and let's make sure that that's going to be our number one priority. But from Eberflus's scheme, his philosophy, edge rushers, 3 techs, getting upfield. If there's an investment that you're looking at from the defensive side of the ball, Osa Odighizuwa, he would be like Nvidia or Palantir right now. I would slam on him because I feel like Osa is going to have a phenomenal year. Also, Sam Williams, so they want guys to get upfield, rush the passer, play a lot of soft zone, keep your eyes on the ball, force turnovers. So it's going to feel very Dan Quinn-ish, kind of going back to what that versus Zim was more complex, right? Yeah. This is going to be peel your ears back, hunt, flow to the ball. And I think that just fits our personnel a whole lot better. I think once you get Overshown back, if we get him back, that will work out. I know people talking about Shamar James, who's still unsigned. Why, I don't know, right? But just those flowy, athletic guys who are kind of sideline to sideline will help. But we also have to talk about these corners. So Trayvon Diggs is working out more than likely. I don't think he's going to be week 1 ready. I don't want to rush it. Siobhan Revel, I don't think he's going to be week 1 ready. I don't want to rush it. Not just from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint. You don't want to come off a ACL injury, battle that in your very first. Okay, well, here have AJ Brown. Like, no, it's not do that, right? So then you're thinking about Deron Bland, Kyer Elam, who we traded for, who I loved in Florida. So when I first met Mike, when he picked me up from the hotel, that's when the University of Florida was at my hotel. And I spoke to Kyer Elam. I said, hey, man, one day you're going to be a Dallas Cowboy. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much called it.
Took a little while.
It took a little while. It took a little detour to Buffalo, a little colder route. But ultimately, I got you here. So, he has the talent coming out of Florida, has the size that I knew Dan Quinn would have loved, right? But he really hasn't transition yet at the NFL level. Deron Bland, Kalen Carson coming into his second year. Maybe he kind of needs a mulligan, and then some other guys filling in. How do you feel about our cornerback position as we gear up for week 1 to be week 1 ready?
I just got to have a good pass rush, man. Make them look good, because if they don't, it's going to be trouble. I would not mind seeing Gilly back. I think you need a veteran, just a guy that bring a sense of calmness, because like you said, I don't think Diggs is going to be back right away. And you've got some you've got some inexperienced guys. And I just think you need someone in there that can definitely help them out. So I would love to see them bring a veteran guy in. Bland, like to your point, I mean, I think he's better in the slot, but if he's the best you got, you're going to be lining him up outside. And I don't think he's a shutdown corner by any stretch. I think he's a playmaker. He's going to give up big plays, but he'll make big plays. And I think our secondary is going to be not so good, but hopefully
I'm kind of concerned. I think once on the back half, once we get healthy, we'll be okay from a cornerback position. I think the safeties will still be okay, right? How do you rotate? But it's just these corners and with the matchups that we have early. I mean, going from AJ Brown to Malik Neighbors back-to-back weeks, and then now you got to deal with Matthew Golden, and Chicago has Roman Dunze and my guy Luther Burton. So we got some dogs at the wide receiver position. And I just think that we need a guy to be a bridge guy to get us to safety so we can get healthy. And I would just call Gilmore. But once again, Mike, that's just the whole thing that just makes sense to me, makes sense to you, makes sense to Mac. It just makes sense to a lot of people, except the people who actually we need to make sense for. So we'll see. But I would sleep a lot easier at night. Okay, if I have Bland, Gill, and Kyer Elam, okay, I'll be all right for a little bit, right? We'll see how that all fares out, but definitely going to be interesting to see. Now, I saw some people in the chat, right? Because of course we always get haters like, oh, these guys aren't real Cowboys fans. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know, I'm a season ticket holder. Mike Tags is season ticket holder. We're all out there at games. So when people say we're not real Cowboys fans, y'all just know it's kind of goofy.
And neither one of us live in Texas.
And neither one of us live we all got to get on planes to get there. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Southwest, So it's but it's all right, what are these guys talking about? They're not real Cowboys fans anyway, right? Now, from the fan perspective, Mike, because you've been in those games, I've been in those games, how can we get our fan base on track, man? I've thought about everything. It's just, I don't know when it comes to the overall atmosphere of AT&T Stadium. It's still, and here's what I'll tell you. This is how I'll tell you how AT&T Stadium and Cowboys fans are, right? I've sold the majority of my tickets that I had left. The only tickets that haven't been sold is the opener. Because people are like, oh, it's just the Giants. It's noon. I don't want to go to that. You know what I'm saying? It's noon. I'm like, all right, y'all. So it's just how do we create that atmosphere that you see here in Kansas City or maybe in Philadelphia at home at AT&T Stadium? Because I think a lot of people understand it until they actually go,
Yeah, I think number one is their tailgate policy. I mean, that's the biggest, when you go to Miami Hurricane games, you live Kansas City, go to a Chiefs game, You go to all these other stadiums, it is a party, and you build camaraderie, and you get, loud, and it just loosens everybody up, and everyone starts talking and things like that. So, yeah, boy, I do like Thunderstruck. But I think you got to. It starts there, but it's a stadium. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, it is the best stadium out there. I haven't been to Vegas yet. I haven't been to the Rams, but I mean, they might be as good, but I don't think they're better. But how are their atmospheres? Probably not so good. And I just think it's a country club mentality. I went to Texas Stadium. It was different. It was different atmosphere, different, fan base. It was, and I think honestly too, it's a money thing. Try and go to a game. I mean, it is expensive. I mean, you and I feeling the pain of the price increases, and that's just, that's just face value. I mean, if you don't have season tickets, go buy them on StubHub and good luck. I mean,
right.
It's taken the average fan, that passionate fan, and it's turned it into a business meeting. It turned it into, hey, man, I'm going to bring my boy here and try and close a deal or something like that on a big sale. So that's where, unfortunately, I think with the Cowboys, they've kind of created that. And, it's a destination. So you get a lot of other fans that want to go there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 1,000% destination. I'll tell you guys right now, I said it last night. These Chiefs fans in Kansas City are coming in droves to that game. Like, I had few people like, hey man, we're coming to Kansas or the Dallas for the Kansas City game. Do you want to host a party? I'm like, no, I don't want to host a day party with y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Unless y'all gonna pay me like a pretty penny. But I was like, no. But they're like, oh man, we're gonna do a day party. I mean, it's Thanksgiving. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm gonna be with my family for that. It was like they are coming because they just want to be in Dallas. They want to be around Cowboys fans and they want to gloat around us. It's just a different thing. Like, these fans just kind of get up for it, but our fans, they just, where we are in our area, man, it just doesn't feel like football. Like you said, like a lot of times, no knock to them, like, but it's like, so I sit next to a dentist and another guy in front of me is a doctor, right? So a lot of times it's just bringing clients in, and it might be, oh, well, he gave us tickets for this, and like, so they're not there for the main attraction, which is the actual football game. So there I am in a sea of a bunch of corporate execs standing up, screaming at Marquise Bell and Wanye. And they're like, who's that? Who's that number 30 guy you're talking? Like, they have no idea. And I just don't understand how can we get it back, y'all. Like you said, the tailgating experience. Mike, when I was in San Francisco for that playoff game, and I had to walk through that sea of red of everybody in the parking lot banging Too Short, bang, Niners gang. It was the most, like, everyone was showing love, but it was just like intimidating. Even when I went to the Miami game before we handled business, shout out to my guy Mikey, right? Just that sea of Hurricanes fans, when I had to walk through to get to the stadium, it was a different type of feel. I'm like, all right, bro, like, let's walk a little fast, but for us, we all around the grass, right? And as soon as you get past the grass, you ain't gonna see a Cowboys fan until you get inside the building. So it's been stripped away from the fan base. I'm trying to think, because I went to the Raiders game when we played them in preseason last year. Their tailgate is in a parking lot. But even their atmosphere, I mean, for a preseason game, like, it was turned up to the max. I'm just like, I don't know, how do we get back to that old Texas stadium culture? Because I think that's something that's needed as well. I really would like that, but I don't know, how do we do it, Cowboys Nation? I really
those
don't.
days are over. I mean, and you can't even stand up. I mean, like, I know you stand up, and in our section, you stand up. It can only be for third downs. And you can't say a whole lot.
No. Here's where you can stand up at a Cowboys game. When the Dak and the offense is going for it on fourth down, oh, it's a rumble. Oh, everybody gets up out their seat, starts. I'm like, no, now is the time where you sit and be quiet, bro. Like, our offense is on the field, but like, soon as we go for it on fourth down, everyone gets up and is screaming and waving towels. I'm like, have y'all not understand? So yeah,
well,
man.
And I'll just put it this way. Me, I'm a diehard. I mean,
right.
Buried.
Look in the background, y'all. I mean, maybe that's a green screen back there.
Yeah, there's no green screen. We don't play that game. But what I would say is, it was my lifelong dream to be a season ticket holder. because someone will say, well, why the hell do you have season tickets? You live, and I could buy tickets to, and that's what I did before. I'd go to a game, but I wanted the opportunity to be a season ticket holder. One, because it was a bucket list when I was a kid. And I just wanted, hey, that was something I always wanted. And I reached a point in my life where I could do it and financially be able to afford it. So that was number one. And number two, I wanted the opportunity to go to the games that I want to go. I want to go to that Philly game if I want to go and not have to pay an outrageous price, or if they make it to a playoff game. And you know, I got the opportunity to go see a playoff game. And, you know, I did it. And I, you know, this year, I get my invoice, and they're very strategic in how they do it. For you guys who don't know, I know Tuck, you know, right before free agency that starts, that's when your seat deposits due.
Right.
once you pay the seat deposit, you don't know what your ticket price is. Your seat deposit comes out before your tickets. You're locked in, and if you don't like what the ticket price is, you just forfeited your license. So our seats went up about 20%, 20-something%, whatever it was, and they went up last year. I sent a simple email to the Dallas Cowboys, to my person, and I said, hey, I see the prices went up pretty good. Can you just tell me what did you do to improve my game day experience? Nothing about players, nothing about wins and losses, nothing about any of that. Did you, maybe you had more food options, maybe you added more restrooms, so the lines, whatever it is. The email I got back, and I swear to God, and I've got it. If you're not happy, we do have a place where you can sell your tickets, your season tickets, and sell them to someone else. Basically, go F yourself. And so I'm still going to be a Cowboy fan, of course, but I'm not renewing my seats. This is going to be my last dance of being a season ticket holder, and it's kind of disappointing, and it's kind of, you know, it bothers me that it had to come that way. But that's the way I guess the point is that's the way they're treating their season ticket holder fans that invest thousands of dollars and everything else that goes with it. You think that game day experience is going to change? I mean, they don't care.
They don't care, man. And so to piggyback off of what Mike said, right? I was the person saying, you know what? Keep the tickets. I do not want them. So I was getting rid of my season tickets. And so when I had to sell my tickets or get rid of the contract, they're like, okay, we have a buyer. Everything is set. We had to sign a contract, and I had to pay $2,000. Okay, boom. All right, whatever. I'll just take the L. Here's the $2,000. We're going to be done. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to be a season ticket holder. All right, boom. That person reneged on the contract and backed out. Okay, do I get my $2,000 back? Oh, no. That goes to the guarantees. And so I'm stuck with the tickets, and I'm out of $2,000. Okay, so then another buyer comes back, and like, okay, this time, since you already paid $2,000, it will only be $1,500. I'm like, but they're already committed. They've already signed. Everything is good. So me and my mama said, okay, that's fine. Let's just do it. Let's just be done with it, right? Give them another $1,500. They sign the contract, and then comes back, hey, they decide they backed out the so I'm already out like $3,500 just off of that. So eventually it's like right before season release, I go, fine, just give me the tickets, right? It's fine. I might as well take them. 2 weeks ago, they call us, hey, we finally got a buyer for your tickets. Well, bro, I already sold them, but for next year tickets, we're good. I'm like, listen, I'm not giving you guys a deposit or anything. Like, you guys are donezo, right? Fine, no deposit, anything. Sign the contract. They release my tickets for next year. The guy backs out again for next. So I'm just like, what is? So it's like, so we told him, hey, just don't send us nothing next year, because I ain't paying for nothing. I ain't signing up for nothing. Just take them. But it's so unfortunate, Mike, because like you said, I still have the season tickets on my wall. It was a dream of mine that I wanted this experience, and to see how we're just treated like, you know, whatever, we'll get another body. You know what I'm saying? Don't like it. Well, you know, and it's just like, well, damn. And then I have soccer tickets for the MLS here from my son for the KC Sporting. I am treated like royalty. Like, I am literally like, it's like damn near overkill how they treat me. And it's just like, why do I not get that for the team that I love and support and travel back and forth and still represent on the daily and do content for and travel? Like, people don't know the sacrifices we make for this team. And it's just like, so be it. And it's frustrating. And it kills a little bit of your fandom. I mean, like, it really does. Like, I'm not going to Oxnard. I'm like, I don't want to deal with these people. You know what I'm saying? Because they charging fans for Oxnard now. If you want to be where the practice is on the other side of the VIP, it's $250. not 250 for a family. It's 250 per person. So you have to pay for 250. Mikey would have to pay 250. I would have to pay 250 to be on the VIP side of practice. And it could be a situation, Mike, they decided to have it on the free side. So it's just like it's just too much business going on when it comes to the Cowboys. That is frustrating for the diehard fans who really love and bleed it, but we still represent this team.
I'm still going. I'll still go to the games, but I'm going to save money. I thought, I'll end up saving money. So
exactly. So you're the hype man. Let Cowboys fans know before I let you go. Why should the Cowboys fans buy into the hype this year when it comes to Dallas Cowboys? Or if you say they shouldn't buy into the hype, but why should they?
No, I mean, hey, bottom line is, hey, this season start. You guys know that. We're going to take everything aside. Training camp is here. We're going to get ready to slap Philadelphia, go up to that dump in Philly, let them hang the banner, and take care of family business. And then the rest is going to be history. And we're going to run this thing all the way through. Because understand this, you still got Parsons. He's going to be signed. Make no mistake about it. He's going to handle that business. Dak, CD, Pickens is now here. We now have attitude, and we got a dog on that side to go along with CD. So make no mistake about it, Cowboys Nation. I don't want you quitting. I don't want you crying. I don't want you giving up, because we just getting this party started. And Jay Tuck and Mike Tagg and the rest of the boys, we going to be out there at the tailgate getting this thing rolling, getting ready to take on them Packers. We doing it the right way. Can you feel me? Can you dig it? That's how we
Woo! See, that's why I love Mike Tagg, man, because sometimes I be doing the analyst stuff all week. So a lot of people don't know unless you kind of been around me on game day, right? I'll do all the analyst stuff hey, man, I think that Philly's going to be a tough. I'm not sure if we can beat them, boom. But when I hit that parking lot, it's F Philly. I don't give a damn. Everything goes out the window. Once I get a Cowboy reader in me and a few drinks, I don't give a damn about the analysis. I don't give a damn what the film says. I'm ready to go to war, and I'll be on the war path, man. As soon as I walk into that building, my mom calm down, no, I'm ready, right? So that's what it's about. That's about being a fan. Cowboys Nation, don't lose that, right? Don't lose that right there. We will be okay. We're gonna take our lumps, but we're gonna be competitive, and we're gonna ride this thing on out, because that is what die-hard Dallas Cowboys fans do. Like I always say, it's like family. I can talk shit about my brother, but can't nobody else talk, like that. And that's just how it goes with the Cowboys. I can talk bad about them, but ain't nobody else gonna say shit about the Cowboys on my clock.
We can give them the tough love. And I was just gonna say this too, Tug. And hey, we go way back. I always tell people, I was on your show. You reached out to me. You're the first person to reach out to me and say, hey, I want you to come on the show. I was just doing hype videos. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I always tell people, man, I knew Tuck when he had 200 subscribers. He had 250.
Yeah.
And now you're getting over 20,000. But it's what I tell people. They ask, why are you a Cowboys fan? Why are you so passionate? Why are you this? And it's the opportunity that I've had, one, in my life because of the Cowboys, and I've told that story. You guys go back and see it. But the opportunity to meet Jay Tuck. When would we have ever crossed paths and went for the Cowboys? Kelly K9. I mean, Cuts. I mean, I stayed at his house. I mean, I'm staying at people's houses. They're coming over to my house. I mean, I've created these bonds and friendship through the Dallas Cowboys. So I get when people say, why are you a fan? Give it up. Why the Cowboys don't do this? It's bigger than that. At this point, it's bigger than that, because it's the friendships and the bonds that we make when we go out to the tailgate. And I'm telling you, I went to you before we even did tailgates. You invited me to the one on the corner. I can't remember what. And I was treated like family. I mean, everyone was coming up, and we had a great time. And that is what I love so much about the true diehard fans. It is just family, and we all bleed blue and silver, and we love our team through thick and thin, but we create those friendships, and that's bigger than any of this stuff.
Bigger. The game is just extra, y'all. And I think people don't understand it if you don't get outside the internet. It's just, because I've seen Mikey and Ava grow up since they were small. I remember
my daughter's going to college now.
Yeah, that was it. I got two kids. So I remember that. Because people don't understand, Cowboys Twitter used to be a very small little group where we knew everybody, like Jen and Kristen and like, every Pastor Carly, we all kind of, it's like a little smart niche and cuts and like, but now it's grown so much, but the brother and sisterhood that we built is going to last a lifetime. If Mike is ever here in Kansas City, he doesn't even have to say like, hey man, I'm in Kansas City, don't worry, I got you, right? Or Mark or Cuts or whoever, like, like the list goes on and on. It really becomes a family. So that's why I always encourage people. I know it's expensive. I know it sucks. Trust me. But when you get out there, it's something surreal, especially when you come from out of town. It's just when I get to Dallas and I land in that airport, I say, I'm with my people. Yeah. It just feels like I'm at home. Like, oh, it's a Cowboys fan. It doesn't matter wherever you're from. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, here we go. Hey, let's go, Cowboy. It's just something that is hard to explain, and it's just that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. The work that I do is for game day. Like I live for game day. And that's why me personally, Mike, I've been offered big offers. Hey, man, we want you to live stream during game. No. Sunday's for me. No, Sunday's for me. I'll do a post-game show. I might even do a pre-game show if I haven't started drinking yet. But Sunday is for me to just be a fan, turn off everything, and I'll deal with whatever we got to deal with whenever we get home, right? So it's just like, don't lose that Cowboys Nation. I know sometimes people try to take that away from you. Don't let people take your passion. Don't let people take your fandom, and don't let people take your excitement. Be like Mike. Keep it hype, man. But my guy, man, I appreciate you for coming on. For the people who are seeing you for the first time, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. MTag 1993 on all social media platforms, and Cowboys Cave YouTube channel. Kelly K9 and I, Jimmy D, we got G-Reg. We're having a great time. We're just passionate Cowboy fans, just talking Cowboys football. So definitely, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, check it out on YouTube, man. Definitely appreciate it. And Tuck, you're my you're my brother from another mother, and man. Happy birthday to your mom. I think that's your birthday's coming up. You're going out to Vegas.
Yeah, next Sunday. So we'll be in Vegas. So I'm taking my boys. They're not 21 yet, but they're going to Vegas. So we're going to go out in Vegas and hang out with my mom for a little bit. And I don't know what we got planned. I don't know. They're supposed to be planning it, so we'll see. But
when we see each other and you see Mikey, we'll tell you about his 21st birthday.
Oh, you have to ask him.
It was a little wild.
Oh man, Mikey. All right, man. Calm down, Mikey. Oh man, this is crazy to see Mikey being 21, man. Like it's just. Like I remember when you saw that you picture. I'm like, I remember those pictures, man. So
and I still have this. This is the game. This is the game we're at. The last second ripped their heart out. First game he went to. I got my man Malik Rozier to sign it for me. That beautiful pass to beat Florida State. So just asking you, Florida State. I know you.
Man.
Florida State. I mean, what are we looking at? I mean, you got Miami. I'll be at Notre Dame. I can't miss Miami Notre Dame. So I'm going to be Miami Notre Dame on the 31st. Philly and Dallas opening the NFL season that next Thursday, and then I'm going to the Giants game. My son and I are going to do a quick Sunday back and forth. So the first few weeks is going to be awesome. But what's going to happen with Florida State? What's your expectations?
Just like, man, Mikey says, check how you feel about your quarterback trash talking to Alabama. I hope he backs it up. As they say, man, sometimes you write checks that your ass can't cash. I don't know, man. Like it sounded good years ago, when we had Jordan Travis and Jarrett Verse, like, oh, we're going to play Bama. We've done this before. We tried to play Bama. I remember I was in Miami actually for a bachelor party, and I told the guys, hey, man, y'all getting ready to go out. I can't go out. I got to watch Florida State versus Alabama. And I think our quarterback was DeAndre Francois back then.
Yeah.
And man, probably by the second quarter, I call it like, hey man, where are y'all at? Like, I'm gonna meet you guys because this is a wrap. We got our necks broke by Alabama, and going to play Alabama at home in our new modernized stadium is going to be bad, y'all. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Florida State right now. I feel like we still don't have the quarterback. I think Tommy Castillas is better than what we had last year, but it's not going to be enough. And as people know, like, Florida football goes in cycles. It's Miami, then it'll be Florida, then it'll be Florida State. And then right now, it's just not our time. It's probably more Florida-ish, but you guys got Carson.
Come on, we beat the hell out of Florida last year. We got Florida down in Miami.
Yeah, but DJ Lagway this year, man, he's going to be turned up to the max. So they're going to be a good team. But yeah, so it's like, I just know right now it's just not my time. So I kind of just sit back,
I just kind of believe they fell off that far. I mean,
We lost
I
so many
understand
players to the draft. We lost so many players to the draft, and then the transfer portal hit, and then, that year when Jordan Travis went down, like that was, if there was any opportunity, that was it, man. And that's just,
That was
because
tough.
think about, Jordan Travis, we lost Braden Fish, Jarrett Verse, Johnny Wilson, Keon Coleman. Like that team was so, and my biggest regret is like I didn't have that college football game with that team. Like that's the team that I wanted on the video game, but now I can't even play with Florida State on the video game, man. So it's bad for my nose. And luckily I dodged bullets. I was supposed to go to like 2 games last year. I think it was versus Georgia Tech. Yeah, I was supposed to go versus Georgia, and yeah, good smart investment that I did not go.
Miami's playing up in Florida State. You have no interest in going then? You don't want to go?
No. I don't want to be like Mikey. Mikey wants to get his revenge on me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sit through that. I don't want to sit and watch you guys do this to me all damn game. Now, if you guys want to go to a fun game, though, Miami, Florida State was a blast, man. It was a blast out there. It was the energy was there for the first quarter, and after that, it kind of faded away.
That was a woodshed beat. The Canes are playing SMU. I don't know if you're going to the Cardinal game because it's a Monday night, but they're playing it Saturday. So would have hit that up for sure.
Yeah, I'll probably be at that Cardinals game. So it's a Monday night game. It's like
let me know.
I make fun of the Cowboys fans, but I can't lie. A lot of them, I'm Hollywood too. I like the Sunday nights, the Thursday nights, the Monday night games. Don't noon game me. My tickets go posted for sale. It's all the noon games. I just scratch those off because I ain't gonna be there, man. Because I just ain't my thing, man. You can't tailgate. It's too early. Traffic's bad. Just not my vibe, man. But hey, my guy, appreciate you for coming on. Like I said, everyone follow the Cowboys Cave. Follow Kelly K9. He's out here playing darts or whatever right now. We'll get Kelly back on the show and definitely gear up as we gear up for this season. If you're seeing me for the first time, JTuck151 on all social media platforms. I am on TikTok right now. I am streaming on Instagram right now. I got some things where I have to stream on TikTok for a while, so I can't just post and ghost anymore. So follow me on TikTok at JTuck151. YouTube channel, CFO Sports. We got a lot of amazing guests tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central. I got the one and only Vach Lombardi joining me as we gear up to talk about the trenches as we gear up for camp. So definitely tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central because I got date night with the wife. So I got to make it a little earlier, right? Friday. Vach is going to be joining us as we break down, get y'all geared up for Cowboys camp, man. So we appreciate you all. We want to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. And Cowboys Nation, let's bring the hype this year. Peace. I stuck that in.